boy, what you looking at? I got a TKO on wherever the pool is at. What you looking at, boy? What you looking at? Got two TVs of my own, I don't need a cat. Hold up, no sir. Step into the mic, bring me closer. Sabotage back in the lab, and to stop that you gonna have to go through both the swole up. Anytime I pull up the bars, I buck up my shoulders and pour the heart. Word to God, my gears push to start a feature, but my skill set a la carte. Woo! You don't understand. I got 7 sins in one palm of my hand. Balls are rice rigid and bodies get numb every time I demonstrate the main rule of thumb.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's happening? What's happening is Monday night, and it is the Knockout Hour with your one and only, the best man with the plan, the notorious one, your mama love him and all that, TKO. That's right, we're back. So if you're back joining in again, I appreciate you guys. We're almost a quarter of a million strong at this point, all because of you guys. And I just want to say thank you here from the Knockout Hour. But if you're returning this week, man, what a weekend of wrestling we had. And we're going to get into that in a little bit. Got plenty of things I'd like to get off my chest about what transpired this past week in wrestling. And also go ahead and go over some things when it comes to UFC and boxing. And make sure we go ahead and let you know about some fights that's going to happen. We're going to talk about the pound for pound list. We'll get into that in a little bit. But for those that's first time joining the show, this right here, we talk about combat sports here on the Knockout Hour. So again, this is the hour show. We try to see if we can fit in as much news as possible, and as well as go ahead and keep you updated on hey what's going down in the fight game. Now, for those that's first time joining me, I am a professional wrestler, as well as I own a professional wrestling company that is Icon Pro Wrestling LLC, and I'm based here out of North Carolina. Yeah, the beautiful state of North Carolina, that is. I love being here. But anyway, no, but anyway, I'll say, man, it's just an honor and it's a pleasure to be with y'all again this Monday night. And to the servicemen and women out there that's serving our country, thank you guys so much. Because I know you guys tune in on a weekly basis, especially Brian and the 86 Airlift Wing out there in Germany. Shout out to you guys. Aru, for sure. And I'll get to y'all in a couple seconds. But no, man, we just sit there and we're gonna get this show rolling. And what I like to do every week, as I like to jump into the show with all the stuff we like to talk about, and y'all really here for, like to give y'all a little insight in my life and what's going on. And of course, my man Walter, what's happening, big guy? How you doing? I'm glad that you join us again every single week. That's right. I'm gonna make sure I give a shout out to Walter every week because you've always been here at the Knockout Hour for sure. Number one fan at this point. I appreciate you. But a lot of people like to know. Again, it's one thing I do is perform professional wrestling in the independent scene, meaning to say I don't have a contract or deal, restriction or do or go anywhere. I pretty much do what I want. But at the same time, too, man, I'm at a certain age where for me, I enjoy what I do, but at the same time, I also like to devote a lot of my actual real time, like my personal time, and that's to be around my family as well as I have jobs and obligations. So, it'd be great if WWE one day just seemed to want to bless this 38 young man right here. Not that old yet. If you want to bless me with a contract and move me to Florida and my family, I sure appreciate it. Never want to turn that down. As well as AEW, hey man, I'm here. Cut the check. It don't matter. But no, but I do enjoy my professional wrestling. But outside of the ring, the most important thing for me is of course was my family. And so as this past week, um, not not too much I couldn't handle. It was a pretty decent week. I was of course able to work my jobs, do what I do, go out there, sell fiber internet for Brightspeed. If you're looking for Brightspeed in your local area, please hit up TKO at my Gmail account. And that's at iconprowrestling.gk it iconprowrestling.tko at gmail.com. Hit your boy up, man. Let's see if we get you signed up for some Brightspeed in your local area. Give me a call. But I was able to do that a couple of days, and the one thing I do enjoy about doing what I do with Brightspeed, the door-to-door sales, is like being able to interact with so many people that you never really had the opportunity to come across. And then everybody has again a story or more or less just devote a little bit of time to you. And I'm so grateful that I meet so many pleasant people. Uh, Also, at the same time, God's been able to help me out, not having to deal with so any rude folks out there that's not trying to, really do any harm or anything like that. I'm just been blessed that I'm good to go. But when I go out there to these places and certain areas to try to again help people out with getting internet, is that I get a chance to also talk about my professional wrestling career, this podcast, and a lot of things in my life, and also God as well. Because for me, I do believe in God. I do believe that He's been able to give me so many chances in life and been blessing me with so many things that I like to go out and when I do interact with other people, God may be tugging at our hearts, knowing that maybe somebody's just want to get a testimony off their chest, like me a lot of times, as well as say some people out there just want to get a prayer, and I really enjoy that. That's one thing I really do enjoy about that because I'm a people person. I like to not necessarily relate. 17 strong. Oh man, where y'all get deployed to, my brother? I'm glad that you're 17 there, man. Appreciate you guys. Hey, let us know what's going on, man. Thank you for joining us again, for sure. Hey, 17 is a lot. Thank you so much. And let us know what's going on out there. And in a couple minutes, I'm gonna let you know something. So I'm glad you were in. I'm glad you wrote a comment now. But oh man, it's just like I say, like for me, I'm a 2.5 years since I decided to stop drinking alcohol. And it's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And knowing that again, God gave me a chance to be able to um, right a lot of wrongs and be able to be where I'm at today. Again, it's all blessings because He always makes sure we get a chance to right our wrongs. And right, Brian says Trump has deployed to certain areas of interest. Thank you for the update. I appreciate that, and thank you again, guys and ladies out there, that you're again giving up so much of your life to defend this country, and we can't thank you guys enough. We hope that they are safe and make it back return, every single one of them, and hopefully, again, President Trump is making good decisions that again that would benefit all of us as Americans as well. And yeah, man. But I really do hope and pray that these men and women do come back because of course, man, we love you guys. Thank you, thank you. So getting after that, I like to get to something. Now, I hope Sergeant Hank is listening. All right, Sergeant Hank. Now, Teddy is a man of his word because I do believe in this lifetime, it's only two things you really gonna leave when you leave this earth. One thing for sure gonna be your name, and the other gonna be a reputation. One that can't take from you, but one that's going to be given. So for me, I'm a man of my word. So Sergeant Hank, I played with my Michigan Wolverines several times all throughout the week. Now this picture here is me against my cousin last week, Terrence. This is me right here. And for you, Brian, and the Georgia Bulldogs, you see what I do. I get busy, all right? Go dogs, yeah. Go dogs getting tore up by the Wolverines. So, and this is like right the same night as the podcast. So last Monday, this is what I did. Okay. Just showing you that. And give another example there, sir. Oh, and show us another example, DC. Show us the other one. There we go. So right here was against the guy I was saying last week, BJ, that was giving me a lot of problems, and he still does. So I'm not out here again. I don't like to talk down, right? It's all in competition. But Sergeant Hank, right after the podcast, I told the fellas what I said the challenge was. All week I'm playing with Michigan, and right there it shows. Thank you, Sergeant Hank, because I should have believed in those Wolverines the whole time, and I took down my nemesis. And BJ, he had Arkansas. We put the clamps on him. You see the fourth quarter score. You see at the end, I did not stop. I kept pushing it. I put my foot on the gas. And if I did curse on this show, that would be his. You know what? No, but to wrap it up, bro, what happened was so Friday all week. Normally I get busy. I still most days we'll play like 3 or 4 games, and Most times we'll probably lose one or maybe go undefeated. But the thing was, they knew it wasn't the same style that I normally play. Because no disrespect, but to NCAA football, please give Michigan some speed on offense. They are slow on offense. So he got deployed, but I took pictures and sent it to him. I love it. Thank you. And Sergeant, hey man, please be safe out there, brother. But yeah, I told you I was a man of my word because Saturday the guy said, "Look, Teddy, you can go ahead and pick who you want. They said you honored your commitment to Sergeant Hank, but we want to play you at your best. Go get the team you want to go get." And I'm glad that they let me do that because right after that, it was back up to, the scores I normally like to put up. So, however, I just wanted to make sure y'all seen that. I stuck to my word, and the fellas gave me a chance to pick who I wanted to pick, and it was a whole different ball game after that. If you get what I'm saying, 'cause man, I love playing with the Oregon Ducks on there, man. They are so fast. Defensively, I found a way to tweak it the way it works for me. But offensively, man, I'm a juggernaut when I got Oregon. They can tell you that for sure. I'm guaranteeing I'm putting up at least 40 some points. But anyway, man, that was fun. I don't know if I'll be able to play the fellas, and I'm gonna be working on some business stuff. May slide a game in today. I'm not sure, but I'll make sure I update you guys. I'm still working on my Twitch channel and all that good stuff. So I'll be able to start shooting the games live, the comments. You know how that goes. But anyway, man, I like to sit here and take 1 second. We're going to do the hip hop spotlight. I like to do a song from OC from NC. You heard it a couple of weeks, but I like to do this song to give myself a little time to get prepared for this next part of the show. We're going to go with Black Metallica tonight. Black Metallica. So for everybody listening, OC from NC, Black.
See how quiet it got?
They told me Black Phillip did work. Then he pulled me out the dirt like, what's the word? I'm that nigga with the work. Wait, you probably heard about him. Call low to get merch, get herb out him. Call Black Phillip when you want a CERN ballot. I make an earn out it. They still tracking my return data. They already know when the goat coming. Dope boys, dope running, trying to go fund it. Wait, just keep punching till they don't run it. The flow hunted. The ghost got doom in it, move in it like we in the house, but a room in it, loom in it. The shine from the moon hit it, zoom in it, peek the design. You see the grooves in it. You see why I pissed Neil off for 2 minutes. Wait, I'm God getting his wheel off 2 minutes. Wait, we mastered the P's, we gave it new limits. Wait, losing my brother was a shocker though. Turn to the Zulu, let's see what Shaka know. Mama been telling me my chakra low. But shit, so I got to go, got the glow, let them know for a couple of bands, niggas are rock and roll. Hey, my nigga, you're not the GOAT, official. Nigga, we ain't even a band. As soon as we land, start looking for Metallica. Hey, if you see we leaving the land, it's me and the band. I'm looking for Metallica, my nigga, look. We already got a drummer, he know everybody number. We just looking for Metallica. Hey, we probably get it for the steel. Tell him put us on the bill with Metallica. Wait, you know my cousin hate flying. He more accustomed to the iron or walk through customers in a line. Get him accustomed to a time, that's a walk through a custom of the times. Wait, they just finna bust another rhyme, I can flip modes. I'm Tim Duncan on the big goals. Wait, my pen jumping if you didn't know. You say a bunch of niggas spitting no, we ain't tryna hear it, cuh. A spirit bomb, clear your spirit up. And leave a nigga hearing us like he here with us, hear the bug. From the first person, first placing, first take 'em, the old basement, the old basic. He'll let everybody go, then flow in a full house, but it's Oasis. It's cause your phone wouldn't pair in the Matrix. It's record players on the spaceships. Wait, look, nigga, we ain't even a band. As soon as we land, she be looking for Metallica. Wait, if you see we leaving the land, it's me and the band. Shit, we looking for Metallica, my nigga. Wait, we already got a drummer, he know everybody number. We just looking for Metallica. Wait, we probably get it for the steel.
A nigga tried to rob me in New York about a month ago. Now, wasn't that dumb? A nigga gonna stick up a black man. It is a difference.
All right. That's OC from NC right there with Black Metallica. If you like it, love it, enjoyed it, please go out there and support my man OC from NC. You go to all your devices. Like I said, when you go to streaming, you can go to Spotify, you can go to Apple Music as well as YouTube. So please go ahead and check them out. And if you're an artist out there want to get your song played here on the Knockout Hour, almost 250,000 strong, my guy and lady, please reach out, hit your boy up. And you can do that at iconprowrestling.tko@gmail.com. All right. So enough about me. Let's get into the fight game. One thing that I love and enjoy is a good Saturday night of some good old fighting. And the thing is that there wasn't no big UFC fight this past weekend. But I did see someone get choked out, which for somebody I know out there, hey Kane, is that oh man. I love what you know what? I would love to tell that story, but I'm gonna be quiet. But anyway, if you want me to tell me, just let me know and I'll tell that story because I don't care. But at the end of the day, man, I seen something right here that really stuck out to me, and that's Shane Strickland. And I noticed that it said that Shane Strickland is suspended in Nevada after corner interaction. So the former UFC middleweight champion Shane Strickland has been suspended from competition after getting into an altercation with another fighter at a UFC event in June in Las Vegas. And the Nevada State Athletic Commission has suspended Strickland, which is 34 years old, indefinitely for his role in the incident. It is a commonplace for the commission to suspend a licensed athlete or cornerman and to issuing an official punishment at a disciplinary hearing. Strickland's case was on the commissioner's monthly schedule Wednesday, but it was voted to be put this hearing to a future date. And the thing that happened is that it was a tough enough event June 29th in Las Vegas, and Strickland entered the ring after the fight. Um, and what it was is Mal Henderson suffered a submission loss to Luis Hernandez, and then immediately after the win, Hernandez taunted uh, Hertzinger's corner, which prompted a response from Strickland and followed UFC fighter Chris Curtis. And then they got video of just throwing a pair of punches at Hernandez. So, main thing to sum that up is if you're an active fighter, and no, a lot of things. It's like, say, if I was at a wrestling event, even though I'm not on the card, I'm still always one of those types. My blood's kind of running hot. I'm ready to go if I get the call. Now, to say he wasn't scheduled to fight in any shape of imagination, but even as a competitor, if you're not in action, you're still just as intense. And I think that he got a little too emotional about it and made a rash decision. Again, built off emotion and that competitive nature, and made a big problem where he started fighting the one of the opponents in the fight, which is ridiculous. You can't do that. So I see why they put it off because, in my honest opinion, yes, it shouldn't be a fast, quick decision. They really need to make him sit down and wait and think about these things because you are a registered licensed fighter. That means at any point in time, you can really inflict harm or danger to another individual. Now, if a person just got done with a UFC bout, win, lose, or draw, that person is exhausted because they sat there and put a camp together to be at a peak shape and condition in order to win. Now, as any bystander to anybody else in the arena, just as much as a fan and or a competitor, it's not right to inject yourself into someone else's moment and then at that time co- fight them. Fight them. Now, that's ridiculous because this man was preparing for, again, a real fight in a controlled manner, not this street fight because, again, you just didn't like what, oh boy, like that's ridiculous. That really is. And so, for someone like Shane, I do admire and respect in this fight game. I do think he is really good at what he do. I think he's at top level. Again, he's a former champion of UFC. So I think the thing is, man, you got to learn some self control and maybe being again not on fight cards and having to sit down for a while. Maybe it will change your perspective of how you go forward. a lot of times the things is people need to learn to correct their wrongs. And at this point in time, I think Shane Strickland, you were absolutely wrong, man. And who am I to say that, right? But I do know that at least when you make a mistake, you need to make amends, and that's the first step. And then knowing from that, the doors will open up, and you'll be able to see, the path at the end of the tunnel. However, there could be another way of going through that door, and a lot of people choose that path. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We all do in life sometimes. But don't be afraid. I mean, don't be mad at the consequences because of your actions. And I do think that they're doing the right decision by making you sit down right now. But I see that Ton Aspinall also is he's ready to defend the UFC heavyweight title, and it's going to go down on October 25th. And yeah, man, Ton Aspinall with a 15-3 record, he was elevated into the undisputed heavyweight championship after former champion John Jones elected to retire instead of face him. The thing is, Tom Aspinall is 8-1 in the UFC and he has 7 first round finishes. So this young Brit is dangerous. And to say that his only loss came against Curtis Blades in 2022, where he suffered a freak knee injury just 15 seconds into the contest. So the thing is, man, is that I do believe that this is one of those ones where it's like I wouldn't say tune-up match, but it's more like a showcase match where Dana's giving, of course, the opportunity to both gentlemen, but I think it really just to show off this is what a UFC heavyweight champion can do. This is how we're going to move forward because John Jones casted a huge shadow over the sport of mixed martial arts because, in my opinion, mine could be very much everybody else's. I think it's pretty much a big consensus that John Jones is the greatest UFC mixed martial arts fighter of all time. Huge emphasis on UFC, okay? Because I understand there's Pride, and there's so many other organizations like One, MMA. So I'm not sitting here to discredit anybody of any time in any era. I'm just saying that in this sport of mixed martial arts, it's just the same in the same right of saying Muhammad Ali and people like a Floyd Mayweather for this generation. These people are trailblazers in their sport because of the style and grace, yet the determination and hard work that they put in. Now, every great champion, of course, has things that's frowned upon. Muhammad, Muhammad Ali had several things. A draft dodger, so many other things that may be true. Just like with John Jones, he had a car accident that caused bodily harm and or killed an individual. He's been multiple times have been called for steroid abuse, or excuse me, abused the policies of UFC, right? Those things right there again are contractual situations where again, let's say that can be a loss of money and or competition, so on and so forth. Since those things do not transpire in the actual octagon when it comes to UFC, then I don't see that too much of a concern as to say why they can't perform compared to what they deal with. And they have a legal action against them, and the court allows them to be able to perform and or do their due diligence because they gave a verdict, then that person has dealt with their charge regardless of the outcome. And if this case that they're innocent and they're on their way, it still was a verdict. So when we look at John Jones, when we look at some of these other great champions, of course we would try to like bring out the worst in them. But when they're at the peak performance, when they've been in their element, in the actual fighting ring or octagon or circle, which way you want to call it, John Jones is by far one of the best that has ever put on a pair of UFC gloves and has performed in that octagon without question. Now, we can, of course, have a list of the greatest UFC fighters of all time. That'd be fun. We can definitely do that. There's no, let's say, arguments here or fights here and to knock that over because of that. think everybody has a way to voice their opinion and be heard, and nothing wrong with that. We'll definitely discuss and compare lists and all that. But no, I just think that Tom Aspinall has a legit shot to solidify the new era of what's to be of a champion now with an 8-1 record. Let's see if he can go out here and solidify his claim to say again being the greatest or one of the greatest of all time. And I love the fact, and I'll leave on this right here, is that when we talk about greatness on Get Money Sports, that's on the Saturday show where we talk about all sports. I love where DC and the fellas all like to mention you can't really be considered a GOAT or a great until you're done with your career. I like that a lot because it does resonate with John Jones. If this to be said that he's no longer going to be active, what now we can rank him in that regard. You know, it's not to say this man said I'm taking a hiatus, a break. This man said right now he's retired. So now we can do that. Now with the other fellas that are still active, again, they still have a career to solidify. So we can't just jump out the box and say, this guy's great now. Well, you're absolutely right. That's right now. How they're going to finish, it could be a whole different story to be written. So I do like that claim, and I think John Jones has earned that now, the fact that he has decided to step away from the square circle. And so I'm going to go over here to boxing. And this is what stuck out to me. I seen something that caught my eye about boxing. I think the pound for pound list I don't know everything to be known about boxing, but the pound for pound list really stuck out to me because one person in particular, but I'm going to try to go over some of these names. Number one, Alexander Usyk. He's the undisputed heavyweight champion with a record of 24-0 with 15 knockouts. All right. We got Naoto Inoue. Inoue is 30-0, 27 knockouts. Junior featherweight undisputed champion. All right. We got Terrence Crawford, number 3, with 40-0, 31 knockouts. He's a junior middleweight champion. He's also, I think, another linear champion as well. Got Dimitri Bivol. He is the light heavyweight unified champion. Then we got Jesse Rodriguez. Now, this is one of those things where he's number 5. I need to go check this kid out. Never seen his fights, but I need to check him out. He has an impressive record of 22-0 with 15 knockouts. He's a junior welterweight unified champion. Then we got Arthur Benavides. He's now ranked 6th. He is 21-1 with 20 knockouts. So up to this point, ladies and gentlemen, we got Dimitri Bivol at 4, and at 6, we got Benavides with a lot. Those two played before each other. We only got 2 losses out of the top 6 pound for pound fighters in today's boxing. All right, let me continue. I'm just wanting to say that right quick. At number 7, we got Shakur Stevens. He's 24-0 with 11 knockouts, lightweight champion. We got Canelo Alvarez, 63-2-2 with 39 knockouts. He's a super middleweight champion. He's also undisputed super middleweight champion, as well as another linear champion. We got David Benavides. He's 30-0 with 24 knockouts, and he's a light heavyweight champion. Now, the thing is, I want everybody to really think about this. Out of those guys I just named, we're looking at there's not even a total of 10 total losses out of all these fighters, out of all these different divisions, all these champions. What stuck out to me is Shakur Stevens, it being where previously he was ranked number 10, is now ranked number 7. It with a 24-0 record and 11 knockouts. I really believe that Shakur Stevens shown us the fact that he has hand speed and he understands boxing very, very well. Okay, he is a champion. And So with that being said, that means that he had to face any and everybody to have a record of 24-0. But any and everybody hasn't been the money fights, the one that's going to take your record from a 10 to a 7. We haven't seen that fight yet. Shakur, where is where is it where your record doesn't matter and it's more about the legacy of really going against the fighters that we want to see you fight? You claim that you wanted to fight Tank. We know that wasn't going to happen. Would it have been a good fight? Absolutely, because it's about the money. Yet you and a lot of these other guys on there on this list, some of these people, they're warriors. They will go to the end and lay on their shield when it's all said and done in order to get that victory. You, however, you, Mr. Stevens, I think that you play too much into the social media and think that that's the reason why you are good instead of listening to not people like me, but listening to the inner champion inside of you and say, hey, I can beat Tank Davis. I can beat this guy. Heck, I take a pay cut in order to get in that upper circle. Because some of these fighters today, and I think Shakur Stevens is one of those, he wants to have a perfect record of, let's say, like Floyd, chase that 50-0, somehow get all these titles without actually facing a real opponent. So the question gonna be is how many wins aren't enough until you actually fight a real opponent that don't care about that and he just care about defeating you. And I think my man Shakur, you really need to get you a fight before you get knocked out with somebody lesser, because that money ain't gonna be there if you keep waiting and you probably unfortunately take a loss. But I do not see how he's ranked number 7. I don't get it. There are like even a Tank, and you got Temafimo Lopez that could have been considered on this list. A lot of the heavy hitters, a lot of heavy again resumes that is way more impeccable than someone like a Shakur Stevens. I don't understand it. I don't. But again, I don't know all there is to be about boxing, but that just really stuck out to me. How you go from 10th to 7th with nothing more than what you're already doing? I don't get that, and I just think that wrestling, I mean, boxing shows a lot of time the politics, the fixes it. And that being said, because we got a fight coming up next month, and I'm so excited because I think for the first time in a long time, it's going to be a fight that you do not want to miss. And when I say this, because when the new boxing organizations are opening up and they realizing that they're tired of seeing the same old thing, the same song and dance where people go in the ring, they collect a check, they talk all that smack beforehand, but they collect the check and then they go on Instagram and they try to get everybody to like, share, and all that crap. Everybody don't care for that. As I was a young boxing fan, I just wanted to see two people get in there and throw down. You know what I'm saying? Throw those cuffs, those fist cuffs. And I think that's what boxing missing. So we got it going on September 13th in Las Vegas on Netflix. We got probably the biggest fight of the year, without question. We got Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford in a 12-round fight for Alvarez's undisputed super middleweight champion. I done seen the reports online. The it's in the crock pot. It's cooking, ladies and gentlemen. It is cooking. We're so close to probably one of the best fights we're gonna see in a long time. I've heard reports, I've seen pictures. Terrence Crawford is even up to 185 right now. And he's walking around at that trying to again, because going to cut down. And he said he'd be ready at fight time. But man, oh man. A lot of conversation to be had about that. I do believe at this point in time I had to go with Canelo Alvarez to say that I think he's going to come out with the victory in this one. And solely because I think that he's comfortable at the weight and being a champion where you're used to being fighting in your own skin and your own walk around way. It's a lot harder for somebody that's coming up nearly almost 20 to 30 pounds within a year or two. The problem with that is it could possibly be stamina for Terrence Crawford. Also, both of these are counter pressers. So let's say if Terrence become more aggressive, try to press the tempo, which we know Canado kind of does. He kind of does a lot of pressing, yet he does counter because he wants the person. It makes him feel closed off, right? So it's going to be really a styles class, and we'll see what happens. I mean, but I do know that they got a purse out there, the promoters, saying, "Hey, whoever go ahead and drop them a fool, they're gonna get them a knockout purse," and I think that's dope. So we put more behind the fights, give them more of an incentive to not just go out here and go 12 rounds, but to put somebody on their back and get it over with. Get that money. I'm all for it. So let's see what happens, and that's gonna go down September. Uh, Manny Pacquiao said he's ready to fight again. I think that'd be pretty dope for the sport. I'm not against it. I think Manny Pacquiao did a good job in the last fight. I would say this. I mean, if he can keep putting on him the pressure like he did in the last one, I'll watch another one. And then, is boxing real or not? It's one of the questions. And headliners here on ESPN were just saying to say that, is it real or not? When it comes down to Jake Paul and the potential of him facing former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua. All right. I think that this goes back to what I'm saying about this sport is starting to become a joke because the boxing I seen growing up would never entertain a lot of this clown show that's going on where this influencer steps into a real boxing ring and let's just say this. You have brought the younger viewing audience to boxing for the first time because a lot of these young kids do not know boxing as well as I do. So that's one good thing. And then if kids today are saying that Jake Paul is a great fighter, fair, because this is you kids' generation when it comes to him. But what I would say is for someone as myself as a grown adult, I want to see Anthony Joshua knock him out of the sport and get it over with. Because I think that's the problem with sports today. Is that now the fans think that they are now the entertainment. And I'll get into that with wrestling, especially with Jelly Roll. But I think that like Jake Paul had, like I said, I can keep going on about the good things he is doing, but there's going to be a stop to the end of this ride on this roller coaster. And I think if that fight does happen, Anthony Joshua is going to be the reason why this roller coaster is over for him. Now, I wouldn't say it on the business level. I think he has done a tremendous job being a trailblazer of using the money that he got in order to provide for others and growing the sport. Because again, the younger viewers today need to invest and watch more boxing because I do think that this sport is it's timeless. Everybody has a nature to always put up their dukes and want to throw fisticuffs. That's the human nature, and we learn to control that. So the art of the sweet science, which is boxing, is the foundation to any cornerstone of any type of physical altercation you will have. It's like a base of boxing. So I just think that if they do have this fight, I would love to put all my money on Anthony Joshua because he's going to knock this fool out. And or knowing that they got a lot of money and they get paid for a dive or two, who knows? So I'm able to stay away from that one now. I just mentioned that. So. But I would just say, man, I'm going to keep my eye on that because I love to want to see Anthony Joshua knock that fool out. I really do. All right. So before we get into the last part, when it comes down to the wrestling, because there was a lot of good stuff that went on, I'd like to play another song real quick. And that would be OC from NC. Let's do it. Immaculate Constellation. That's what I want to be on as soon as I get off of this show.
More plays, we about to stop making them. Couple more days, we got to drop weight for them. So stuck in my ways, we about to stop way. So stuck in my ways, we back in stock. Baxter Stockman, fly on the wall, watching a rock band. Locked in, I locked in, making sense now. Niggas that play both sides got off the fence. I'm convinced when you play those rhymes, you not convinced. Not when this I design like if Plato rhymed. Took a trip out west just to say those lines. One stop in Texas, my only play no rhymes, cause they know I'm timeless. NC's finest, do rewind this, beat Tampa. Me and B started out with some weak crowds, but look at us, peak now. Look at my week now, I'm weak now. Like it's hard being discreet now. Brand new Jordan 5, see my defeat. All the time pain turning to rhyme, see my defeat. Whatever's out of control, you all delete, all the beat, nigga. Fisher, still tugging, still thugging, still going, chill dugging. Been a long road, niggas will turn on you. Hey, it's been a long road, still tugging, still thugging, still going, chill dugging. Been a long road, niggas will turn on you. Hey.
Slid up to the hill on the Honeydale. 3 bad bitches on the Honeywell. My, think we got a baby, let me grab the wheel. Too much attention on it. You only hear from 10 to 2. What's the tension on it? Just meet me after in the room. What's the tension? Make sure your friends hang around with a legend. Don't get found in my mentions, baby. Don't get found in the mentions. Cause you define it as a pimp, as profound as the Simpsons.
All right. Appreciate you. That's from OC from NC, and that's the Immaculate Constellation. All right, so we're gonna get into some good old wrestling talk, and what a weekend it was! 2 nights of SummerSlam, the first ever, and I'm still trying to again catch up with some matches, doubling back because it was a lot to see, a lot to take in. Um, Again, 6 hours plus of wrestling, a lot of action. Let's get to it. So we got Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And your winners are, of course, Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. I mean, it's only right. I seen that my man Bronson Reed was wearing down Roman Reigns' shoes. Bro. So like last week, my man snatched Roman Reigns' shoes, dog. He snatched his shoes, bro. Like the only thing would have made that better was if he would have ran them pockets. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was hilarious. I really liked it a lot. That really gave me something where, because I'm not the biggest fan of Bronson Reed. I do believe they got too many guys that's kind of like built exactly the same. Like him and JC Mateo are built exactly the same. I just don't understand why you have like 3 Otises. It's kind of weird. But I mean, he's starting to really work with again the personality. I like that. See, like as a character, when you can slow down sometimes to be able to get those moments in, like they did when they laid waste to those guys, it works to develop the personality again beyond who is Bronson Reed, who is Braun Breaker. Those are the things I like that a lot. But in that match, man, it was really good. Spots Roman about Lord sweet baby Jesus, don't ever do that again. Tribal Chief, we love you. Don't ever do that. We almost lost you, baby. I know everybody in that backstage is probably jumping up and down like, oh Lord, have mercy. But and then somebody said today too, they was like, why did Roman go first? Or no, see Roman, and he's right. Either the heavyweight champion needs to go first, or they need to go last on the show because you need to either be the first thing they remember. I mean, the first thing they see, or the last thing to remember. And I think it was cool that he went on first to go ahead and get his match out the way. He on the first plane smoking up out of there. But my one biggest pet peeve: stop with the stupid Jey Usos thing. I don't. If you want somebody to take him serious, then stop doing that. That is stupid. Like I've never in my life seen like where they keep doing that in the wrestling. Like that's stupid. It's dumb. It don't make sense. It's not a good transitional spot. It's just stupid. Stop. That little hot dog in the tuna. Bro, you ain't that. You that's it. The saddest thing is that's the best thing you can do in the whole match because everything you do wrestling wise is mid. Mid nonetheless. You bump horrible. Like you have really just you need to go back to being tag team dog. Like I'm about sick of him. And then you had the ladies from the Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, the women's WWE champions. However, they lost and they now and they went against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and they are now the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. I think it was an awesome match. I think that Alexa and Charlotte goes very well together. Um, I think that's really good for Charlotte. I hate the fact that she is my favorite and greatest women's wrestler of all time, in my opinion. But I hate that she had to share the fact that in her personal life, what the fans and people think of her really is kind of messed up. And I do agree. I do agree. I think that success, again, portraying the character doesn't mean the same in real life. Um, and it's okay. I think that we know that our eyes are always on us, everything that we do as performers, even in the small capacity. I know you probably like TK. Yes. Even in the city I live in, I have to maintain a certain presence about myself because what makes you special if everybody else is just the same as you are? And I'll roll into that with the Jelly Roll thing. But um, yeah, anyway, I just think that like Charlotte Flair getting finally the love from the crowd that she deserves because she's worked too hard to be a 14-time women's champion. And also put in the work when other women are still climbing the ladder. She set the pace. She's leading the pack. And now she has a time to enjoy um finally the fans being able to warm up and show her some love. So shout out to Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair of now being the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Then you had Killian Cross versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn won that match. All right, next match. Yeah, the WWE Women's Championship match between Jade Cargill and the champion Tiffany Stratton. And still your women's champion, Tiffany Stratton. I know that may come to a shocker to a lot of people out there that really believe that this was Jade Cargill's moment, her time to rise to the top. But for me, I actually did have Tiffany Stratton retaining the title. Here's my thought. I think that with Tiffany Stratton, her being still a young champion herself, she still didn't have that match to really solidify her title run yet. At this current time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I don't think it's an immediate need or change for her to give up that title at this current time. I do believe that not Jade Carter, excuse me, Bianca Belair on the back on the horizon, potentially coming back to the roster sooner than later. I hope to see if it can go down. I think at Clash of the Castle, we'll see what happens with that. But I do know that Bianca Belair is almost ready to return back, and so I'm excited to see that. But as regards for Jade, I think she did a great job in this match. Um, it wasn't long, but I think that for two people, again, young wrestlers, she did a very good job at holding her own. Did a very good job at selling. Um, her moves are starting to look better. I do believe that, and I told a friend of mine, they had to work on more of a story build for her. It's not so much about her getting a title, because like I think about in wrestling, if she gets the title, then what? What is she gonna do next? We need to kind of see them laying the blocks before she wins in order to say once she does, then where she got to go. Because the only thing we do remember so much about Jade recently is her and Naomi. Since Naomi is now on Raw and she's the women's champion on Raw, then we got to create a story for Jade that makes sense for Jade. And I think right now was the best call to keep the belt on Tiffany. So you had Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. And your winners was Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Thank you, God. Because I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna keep it quick. Jake Paul is now a WWE wrestler, and I would say that through his work and performance, Jake Paul is every bit of talented to be in a WWE locker room and be WWE talent. Jelly Roll, it's you done a tremendous job at getting in shape, putting in the work, putting in the hours. But please, please stay with your music. Please. And every single facet of my being, please stay with your music. See, the thing that irritates me is that when everybody wants to get in the wrestling ring and think they can do what we do, then again, it goes back to what makes us special. So, Jelly Roll, if I could sing and all that other good stuff just as well as you do, make multi-million dollars and all that, great. That's my lane. But that's what you do. And stick to that. Because the match you had shows why you should not be on at the toppest level of a company wrestling. I don't care how much they paid you in Scooby Snacks or whatever you do. But I do not understand why. It was a waste of time. It didn't garner new fans. I don't give a crap. I think it was stupid. That's just me. I do not understand why they had that match. I really didn't even probably watch half of it. I'm not going back to watch it. I just don't understand it. I really don't. It doesn't. I mean, I can care less what whatever um they're going with the story. I just don't. I'm not. You ain't gonna make me watch that. And then you had Gunther versus CM Punk for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and I would say the match was really good, really, really good. I think probably second best match of the whole weekend. You could tell CM Punk and Gunther had a lot of miscues, but they still had a very competitive match. I think it was very good. The chops that CM Punk took, bro, you earned that check that night. But as I said on Get Money Sports this past Saturday, as I said this past Monday and the times before, we got the cash in from Seth Rollins because he wasn't hurt, like I said, and he is now the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. That is CM Punk with his cash in. Oh, I mean, excuse me, Seth Rollins over his cash in of CM Punk, and that wrapped up night one with a huge surprise for everybody. But Triple H said, "Hey, we ain't even finished with the surprises." But in the first match of the evening on night two, you had the Women's World Championship between Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Naomi. As Naomi's father, that's right, her father was on this stage playing her out to the ring. I thought that was so dope. Thank you, WWE, for doing that because when I sat there and watched that, my children, I'd seen the twinkle in my daughter's eyes, and I thought that was cool. I think that meant a lot. And your winner is still champ, and I think that was the right decision. Was keeping it with Naomi. She has got really good heat. The question is now, where do Io and Rhea go after this? We should see going forward. And so tonight you got the table ladders and chairs match, and it was for the WWE Tag Team Championships, and it was a six-man tag. I'm not going through all the people, but yeah, your winners and still is the Wyatt Six. I get at a mid for a table ladders and chairs match. I don't think it was like one of the best of all time in any of that stretch of imagination. I think the problem is the competitors in the match. I think the tag team division deserves more headline names. Even to say bedfellows, like saying take two people and put them together. I don't know, but I think the problem is the tag team division is always going to be mid, and it continues on. And last thing, Def Leppard, Def Label need to stop making music because it was horrible. How do you have four people or five teams come out and they got the most trashiest entrance music you ever heard in your life? It was horrible. Come on, man. I need to do better. So we got the no DQ match for the women's intercontinental title between Becky Lynch, joining you guys from Liberia. Hey, shout out to you, Francis. What's going on? Hey, what's happening, guys? Man, thank you, Francis, for joining us on the show, man. Shout out to Liberia. That's dope, man. Hey, appreciate you. If you're catching us now, man, make sure you catch us next Monday at 7, 8 o'clock, man. But it's nice to meet you, Francis. Thank you for joining the show. Shout out to you guys. Let me know if you watch what you watch, pro wrestling, MMA, boxing. What do you like? And then we had again the no DQ match for the Intercontinental title between Lyra Valkyria and still your women's champion, Intercontinental champion that is, that's Becky Lynch. So now Lara Vecchia cannot challenge for the Intercontinental Championship as long as Becky Lynch is the Women's Intercontinental Champion. Then we had a steel cage match between Jacob Fatu and your steel champion Stolo Sikoa for the United States Championship match in a steel cage, which we all knew how that was going to go down. So still your winner. And they need to hurry up and end this storyline quick. You need to get Jacob some more wins and get him away from this. If he ain't going to be in that title and get away, then get him away now because it's kind of killing off Jacob Fatu. You had the Intercontinental Championship between AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio, and still your champion is Dominic Mysterio. After AJ came out here again with the mind games, having his son dressed up as a young Dominic, they'd be like, I'm your poppy. When he came down to Eddie Guerrero, he came in as a low rider wearing his infamous colors and scheme. Very good match. And Dominic won with a clever move by loosening up the boot like Kurt Angle in order for the hold to be broken and then hitting them with a false start splash. Then I would say this. This is probably one of the best matches I've ever seen in WWE in a long time. I mean, a very long time. You had the street fight for the undisputed WWE Heavyweight Championship, and that's between Cody Rhodes and John Cena, and the new WWE second time undisputed Heavyweight Champion. That is Cody Rhodes. And honestly, what a match. It really was. Emotional, high impact, just would not quit. It really was a really good match. Honestly, really good. And I don't see John Cena do a lot. I mean, so many different things are just going back and forth. So I got that one wrong. Be honest with you, I thought Cena would have retained. However, it's the right call. It's the right decision at this point in time because they butchered and killed his heel run. So it might as well just go ahead and give it to Cody on the biggest stage because this is probably one of the last bigger events before he retires. So it made sense because one thing about the WWE, you can always say never. And that is because we had the return of Brock Lesnar. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Brock Lesnar is back in the WWE. And he delivered another F5 to John Cena. My thoughts? Until there's a verdict reached, and yet he is contractually not being able to be on TV, we will here at the Knockout Hour will talk about Brock Lesnar. As long as something that remains open in the court, that is fine what it is. But here, my job is again, it's not about bias of choosing a person's life choices or what they do until they are found guilty of the crime they commit. So that being said, really fast, I think it was kind of funny how they took away the press conference because they know what type of questions they would ask them. But I do believe, man, we'll hear all that when we get whenever comes the outcome of that, we'll get to that. But I do know Brock Lesnar is back. This is a huge game changer. So really quick, let's sum it all up, man. Tune in tonight at Monday Night Raw. But before we go ahead and leave, I got like almost less than a minute. My name is Teddy Allen Jr. I go and perform as TKO when I'm wrestling. You can find me on as Teddy Allen Jr. on Facebook. If you want to check me out on social media, it's TKO336. As well as on YouTube, you check out my matches. And then also you can check out the Knockout Hour on Facebook and on YouTube as well. And if you want to know about my wrestling company, that's Icon Professional Wrestling, LLC. You can check us out on all social medias with that. If you want to hit up my company, hit up Icon Pro Wrestling, LLC at gmail.com. But tonight, we got Monday Night Raw. We're going to lay out the new tables. I think they have done a reset when it came down to wrestling. They gave us WrestleMania right here in August, and now they have reset the order. Now we got something to watch. Now we have a reason to invest. So for all of you, everybody, this is the right time to jump in. Tune in to Monday night because it's less than 1 minute from right now. It's going to be Monday Night Raw on Netflix, and what an exciting night. For here at the Knockout Hour, I'm going to get prepared, get ready to watch me some good old Monday Night Raw and lift some weights and do my thing. But thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully come back next week. Love you guys. See y'all.
What you looking at, boy? What you looking at? I got a TKO on whatever the fool What you looking at, boy? What you looking at? Got two Tulies of my own, I don't need a gang.
Hold up, no sir. Step into the mic, bring me closer. Sabotage back in the lab, and to stop that, you gonna have to go through both. That swole up. Anytime I pull up the bars, I buck up my shoulders and pour the heart. Word to God, my gears push to start a feature, but my skill set a la carte. Woo! You don't understand. I got 7 sins in one palm on my hand. Balls are right rigid and bodies get numb every time I demonstrate the main rule of thumb.